Welcome to all of you. Let's get started with the solar eclipse. I'm going to start straight away because there is a solar eclipse on the 11th of August and it's going to be around about the 11th of August. And it's around about 18 degrees of Leo. So the sun will be in Leo, the moon will be in Leo, all on 18 degrees of Leo, together with the North Node. The North Node is a bit more at the beginning of Leo, around 5 degrees of Leo. And all of that is making the solar eclipse. Now, to know more about what this solar eclipse, where it is coming from and the whole bigger picture story, I refer to the other video that I made on the 27th of July, which was the Aquarius lunar eclipse. It is linked in a way that what we had to do with the lunar eclipse, it has consequences for this solar eclipse. And the lunar eclipse, without repeating too much of it, was quite a tough one because Mars was involved, and it was all about, in a nutshell, it was about letting go of something. It was about letting go of maybe a situation, maybe a friend, maybe another person, or letting go of maybe studies, maybe whatever. It was for you, everyone had a particular area of their life. And still, I mean, these eclipses are not bang just on that date. They start before, a month before, maybe 2 months before. And they go on. In literature, sometimes they say 6 months after that. So, but what is this solar eclipse in Leo? What does it mean? So, okay, on the 27th of July, we needed to clean up a little bit and we needed to let go of some old stuff. But what is this new eclipse saying for each of the signs? I'm going to start for each of the signs in a minute. Well, actually, this eclipse is really about planting a seed. This eclipse is with the North Node, and the North Node is our destiny, and the North Node is the future, and the North Node is a hunger to evolve, basically. The other eclipse on the 27th of July was the opposite. It was karma, it was let it go, it was the past, and now it's the future. So for everyone, there will be something new planted there. And it makes sense, doesn't it? If you can let go of something, it makes place for something new, and that suits us better. And that has that Leo trait. A Leo is all about creativity. It's all about the heart chakra. It's all about what we love to do. It's all about playfulness. And thank God we have a little bit of that coming up, because the moon in Leo in itself is already a very playful energy. And with playful, I mean the lust for life and the lust for expressing yourself in your unique way. It's also about integrity. You know, the fire signs, Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius, they're all about integrity, and they're all about what to do for you, not in a selfish way, but being aligned with a bigger picture, and having that integrity is super, very, very important. So this solar eclipse does square Jupiter, but that simply means because the meaning of life stays very important, and maybe we have a new idea with this solar eclipse and we exaggerate it a little bit. Well, if you know that you are doing that, I don't think that is a big of a problem. So know that we can idealize the new situation, but as long as we're trying to do it step by step, I think that is no harm at all. So let's get started with the signs. What does it mean? What does it mean for Aries? Well, for Aries, it's in your 5th house of fun and of creativity. So for Aries, it's a very nice energy, actually, when you allow it, when you allow to have more fun. And for some, I mean, I don't want to be too dramatic. Yeah, maybe there's going to be a bit of drama there because Leo loves drama. But let's stay with the feet on the ground, dear astrology watchers. I mean, sometimes an eclipse in the 5th house can simply mean that you start a new hobby. That's all. It's a bit boring, isn't it? And we, as an astrologer, well, I talk for myself, tend to want to to make it a bit more exciting. But sometimes it isn't. Sometimes life isn't always exciting, and then it's just a new hobby. So because the fifth house is a house of hobbies. So for some of you, it will be just that. It could be for others, it could be quite exciting, you know, like getting pregnant, for instance. The fifth house is a house of children. For others, it could mean that a new project, you're starting a new project at work and you have an idea now. And remember, all of this is very important that at the end of August, when Mars goes direct again, then things will shift. You know, up until the end of August, I mean, it's not really a time to start new things and so on. It's more like reflection time and how am I gonna do it? So, yeah, for Aries people, I hope you find a new hobby. I hope you find new ways of expressing yourself and having fun. Having fun, so important for Aries people. And there's like some new seeds they're planted there. Okay, for Taurus, it's a bit more serious as it happens at the root of their chart, which is the fourth house. This eclipse happens in the fourth house, which is literally your house. So for some of you, of course, not for all Taurians, but for some of you, there is a move. There is going to a new home, maybe buying a new home, selling and buying a new home. And for others, it's a lot on an emotional level. There is like you changing on an emotional level. And remember, the Leo side is about your unique self. So finding a way to express yourself emotionally in your own unique self, finding that integrity. So probably with that other eclipse on the 27th of July, there must have happened something when it comes to work and when it comes to your social position that might lead to these new, maybe you're starting a family, could be the case as well. You know, the fourth house is your family, your own family and your own security. So there's for Taurians who in itself demand and need security in their life, they will try to find a new way to establish emotional security around their emotional wealth. So it's a very interesting eclipse for the Taurians, and they can build it up. They have the time to do so. So the plans can be seeded for a new home or for a new way of, a new emotional way of living, a new emotional setup, and maybe spending a bit more time with family instead of just working all the time. For instance, that could be the case. Now, Geminis. For Geminis, it is happening in your third house. Is it? It really is? Yeah, it is. And which is great because Gemini is related to the third house. So Geminis love that. The third house is all about communications. It's about neighbors. It's about people. It's a social house. And there is a new start. So there could be a new start around your siblings, around your neighbors. You could have a new trip that you're planning, which is going to make a huge change for you because it has to do with your heart chakra again. So if you're planning for a new trip, there's going to be some new insights there. It has to do with your own integrity. It could also be that you're launching a new website, that you're buying a new computer. For some of you, it would just simply be buying a new computer. Again, that sounds a bit boring, but it isn't. For some of you, it's not. And or a new way of communicating, like you're saying, your state of mind shifts. So it could be that you're saying, look, the way that I'm going to communicate as from now, as from the 11th of August, I'm going to do it with a lot of more heart and a lot of more integrity. It could be as simple as that as well. So for Gemini, it's a very positive eclipse. Then we go to Cancer. This is happening in your second house, which is interesting. Cancerians, they love stability. They love that their life is a bit protected there, especially for the ones that they love, and that they can protect the people that they love. And having an eclipse in a very resourceful house, the second house is not only money, it's also what you have, what you possess, and it's also your self-worth, and it's also the food that you take in. Very important for a Cancerian. So it might be some change there. Maybe you're saying, look, as from now, I'm going to enjoy my foods more. You know, I have that strong diet there over there and I don't like it at all. I'm going to be a bit more enjoyful of life and I'm going to have meat 3 times a week instead of 0 times a week. For instance, I mean, whatever it is that you feel that you follow your integrity, you follow your heart, and, you know, there is some change of taking in the food there that you could possibly do for Cancerians. On another level, it's money, you know. There's some new source of money that you work for yourself. There's a new financial setup. Maybe you have had some problems with loans and with, you know, this where the south node was. Or maybe you have just, finished your karma with a certain debt and now you're saying, look, I can put in a bit more work here and I can receive a little bit more money. It can also mean that your self-worth is getting a boost and that is good for every sign, but especially for the Cancerians. You know, it's so easy to lose your confidence. It's so difficult to build it up again. Well, here, dear Cancerians, you have a chance to build it up again and to build it up quite strongly. So off you go. For the Virgos, I would skip the Leos. Come on, what am I doing? For the Leos, this is happening in your first house. So total, and especially those who have the sun in Leo, the moon in Leo, the ascendant in Leo on 18 degrees or roundabout. So let's say of 10 degrees up until 25 degrees, you know. But of course, the closer it gets to the 18 degrees, the more it is important. Your life is gonna change. Of course, someone who has a birthday on the 11th of August, of course, it will be a very important year with life changes. Why? Because the emphasis is on you. The emphasis is on the relationship with you. It's on letting go of relationships that are toxic and that are no longer suiting for you. That was with the other eclipse. And not dramatically in cutting off everything. No, it could mean just a little bit more distance even, and focusing a little bit more on you. I mean, that's what Leos need to do at the moment. Focus on you, focus on what you want, focus on your integrity, and focus on your life part, because there is a possibility to change it in a big way. And so massive changes can happen for Leo on all levels, but bottom line is to put emphasis on you, to put emphasis on what do I want? How do I want to be seen by others? And what is it that I want to express myself with and what I want to identify with? And let's get started. You have time for doing that, but it certainly is a very important period for you Leos. And of course, these eclipses have been going on for a year now. So it's a process for you Leos. It's a process of a year that concludes now. So it could be not that there's a massive change now on the 11th of August, but there's like a realization of, yeah, I'm going somewhere here and it's a new path. Then Virgos, this is happening in your 12th house. Now, the good thing about this eclipse is that because Virgos normally tend to have a bit of challenges with relaxing, and now with this eclipse happening in your 12th house, you might find new ideas to do so. New ideas and new opportunities to relax better, to have some fun on your own. Most Virgos do like that. Most Virgos don't mind going in the city, having a meal in a restaurant just by themselves. They don't really, they're kind of like that, most of them. And so there could be, it's a very spiritual eclipse as well for you, because there could be a much more heartening, stronger connection with what is higher than us, whether it is God or you name it, the universe or Allah or whatever. But there's an ability to have a stronger connection, and therefore, because you give a bit of responsibility to, God or to the universe, you feel a bit lighter. And isn't that interesting for our Virgos, me including, Virgo too, Sun and Virgo. So it's a really interesting eclipse for Virgos. It's a really interesting eclipse. Dreams as well. There could be some very warm dreams. You know, it's in Leo. Maybe warm dreams. Surely here in Belgium. I mean, the temperature here is just it's incredibly high. It's not normal at all, you could say. Or maybe it is. I don't know. It's very hot. And with those warm dreams, I mean, maybe you're dreaming about things, your desires and things that you want and things that you want to do. And maybe that's good. That's good. And it relaxes you. So more time, more opportunity to relax. Isn't that a good thing for you, Virgos? It surely is. Then the Librans, it's in the 11th house, which is nice. So for you Librans who've been saying, oh, my social life, where is it? Which is very important for a Libran, by the way. A Libran without friends, without social activity, they kind of, live half, you could say. It might be a new opportunity to find new friends, to go to a new group, to network with people and to start again and to find new opportunities. Also life goals. The 11th house is a very future oriented house. Having some new plans for the future after all this, letting go of maybe an old lover or maybe an old way of loving someone. You're now ready for new stuff and you're ready for new commitments and connections with like-minded people. So that's basically it for you Librans. Very positive one. It's a very light eclipse for you Librans in a very light house. Next we have Scorpios. Is it Scorpio? Yes, it is Scorpio. Of course it is. And that's again a very important house because Scorpio, you are a fixed sign and this is happening in your 10th house, this eclipse. So for Scorpios, especially the rising sign, there could be a new job. There could be a new social status. So maybe you're getting married, you're getting divorced, you're getting a child, a new social status for Scorpios, which makes quite a difference in how you perceive your life and how you are experiencing it. It could also mean that just a tiny thing, not tiny, but it could also mean that the job that you're doing, there's something new about it. You want something new about it. It's a good time to have some new projects, to start them. But again, as I said, to really, really launch something new, it's better at the end of August instead of bang on the 11th. So it could be very, very important. There is something that is shifting on quite an important level because remember the midheaven, where this eclipse is happening for you, is a kind of a second ascendant. So it's very much related to you and your identity. So if there is something that you want to start new related to job, related to your social status, very good. But wait until the end of August, then you will have more chance that things go a bit faster for you. So very transformational time for you Scorpios. Then we have Sagittarius. This is happening in your 9th house, which is great. Thank God for this eclipse. For us, I say us, I have a Sag rising, which is fantastic because Sagittarius, what they need is really a goal. Even in times of despair, they need a goal. And this is given to them now with this eclipse because this is happening in their house, in the house of goals for the future, but also in the house of philosophy, in the house of your opinion, your ideas, your lust for life as well. That's also the 9th house and your connection to what is higher than you. So for some of you on a very mundane level, it could be you go to school again. At the end of August, September time, you go to school, you go to study something new. Very good timing. Or there is a new language that you could learn. You say, español está bien, sí. Hay mucho tráfico en Madrid, con más de 4 millones de habitantes. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I love languages. I have a full house in my 9th house. So you could learn a new language if you want, so do so, because it's really the perfect timing, and it's going to give you joy. You know, it's in Leo. It's going to give you a lot of joy. If you travel, very, very good. Traveling or making a long trip, or making a trip that to a country you've never been before. Making a trip in itself is very, very good for you, because, you know, on the 11th of August, there's this solar eclipse, and there's like this calling for you, like saying, I want to take it here on a bigger level. I want to see more. I want to have my helicopter view. And you will get it. You surely will get it. So traveling, culture, getting a connection with someone from abroad could be the case as well. You know, maybe you're single and you could be connecting with someone, you know, on the other side of the planet. Could be the case as well. So for Sagittarians, or publishing, maybe you're trying to publish, or you're trying to make a new YouTube channel, go for it. Go for it. This is the time. This is the time. And especially with expressing yourself from the heart. Then we have Capricorns. This is happening in the 8th house, which is a very dark house for Capricorns as well. But this is a bit of a kind of new psychological insight that you might have. You know, the 8th house is not only about life and death. So there could be a new loan that you're taking, you know. You just bought a house, for instance, or you just bought a car, whatever, and you're taking a loan here. It's a good time to do that, you know, with having this energy in your 8th house. And you Capricorns, you're always taking, you know, cautiously decisions. But on most of you, it will have to do on a psychological level, which is like a new understanding of yourself. And a sort of a, you know, I've changed when it comes to values, and I let go of things that are no longer suiting for me, and therefore I do feel free. So there's some sort of a refreshment there, although it's in the 8th house, so it's quite hidden. But I think there are new possibilities for you to connect on a metaphysical level, to connect on some sort of philosophy, some sort of deep studies there, or maybe even studying astrology or studying something else that has to do with the depths of life, maybe life after death, or some sort of thing. So you could be studying that, and the thing is that you will feel very connected, and you will feel that your heart really warms up. Could also mean that intimacy is getting higher there. Maybe you just started a relationship and the intimacy is going great. You know, that vulnerability, that showing your vulnerability also has to do with love. Because if we're not showing vulnerability, you know, love is not there. And we can only receive love when we are open. And that's on for you Capricorn. So that is very good news. And then Aquarians, of course, in your 7th house. This is happening in your 7th house, you Aquarians. So that could be starting a new relationship, or a business partner, or a mentor. It could be the case that you're ready now for a new mentor in your life, or you're ready for a new relationship. And it's going to be very warm, very heartening. And especially for those Aquarians who have said, like, look, I had a bit of an ego death here. The old me is gone. Let in someone new, because I have changed so much now. Of course, again, this is not happening bang on the 11th of August. It takes a bit of time there. As I said, some eclipses, they kind of have an effect for 6 months later on. So, very interesting for you Aquarians to meet new people, to meet new people who were very, very fated, and so you don't really have to look at it for it, so to speak. They cross your path, and of course, not hide yourself in a cage or whatever. But it certainly is a time to meet new people, absolutely, and to be hungry for connecting with new people. That's what you Aquarians need to do. You need to get hungry for meeting new people, for having new insights, for having that you feel that you have that heart which warms up. And very important And last but not least, for the Pisceans, well, for Pisces, it's happening in your 6th house of health. So there is something new happening, health or work or small animals. So you could be, oh, it's a good time for a new pet. Absolutely. So for some of you, it just will be that, you know, getting a new dog or a new cat or whatever, or a turtle. But for most of you, it could have to do with a new job, or something around the job is changing in a more heartening way, so that you feel like, I can hold my integrity when I go to work. So it could be for lots of you a new job. And for others who have been struggling with their health, there could be like a new phase, a new beginning, and it's in Leo, so it's very heartening. So you could do a new workout, a new diet, but again, that you enjoy, because it's in Leo. So you could be new sorts of exercise, but the exercise that you love to do. And the things that you love to do, not going to the fitness and every day and you're not liking it. No, something else, something that you love to do. Maybe dancing a little bit, having a bit of fun whilst you're doing it, that kind of thing. Or maybe a new method, or a new kind of, when you are ill and you're having some health problems, maybe there could be a new method that has to do with heat, maybe, because it's in Leo, it's a fire sign, or that has to do with the heart, or that has to do with you trying to do something that you always wanted to do, and therefore it helps your health. Anyway, having said that, I wish you all the best solar eclipse ever. Enjoy it. Try to enjoy it. Try to tap into the positivity of this eclipse. And if you want to get in touch, all the information is linked below. Thank you for watching, and see you soon. See you soon. Hear from you soon. Bye-bye.